pop culture, everything is permitted.
Welcome to episode 41 of Everything is Permitted here at Wade's Comic Madness, and welcome to
I didn't notice she was doing
Star Wars month. Brittany, I think that you're fired.
The best
I
part
think you're
was
fired
just
from this
waiting for you
podcast.
to look over. I wanted to look like one of those creepy dudes from like Coraline.
Literally, the first thing I thought when I saw you was the creepy pirate guy at the beginning of the SpongeBob intro. Are you ready, kids?
Patchy.
Patchy. Yes, welcome to Star Wars month. It is December, and we are going to be doing a lot of Star Wars. I am your host, Julian Brown, alongside my co-host, the Man of Steel, Matt Reppert, the Master of Puns, and now Pirate, Brittany Tomes. How we doing?
I am fighting off a cold. So I am, if you hear me sniff or cough, I apologize in advance.
Magic of editing.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a longer weekend, so I got to actually relax for the first time in my life.
I slept until 10, like for the first time in a really long time.
Yay.
Like actually slept, not just like pretended I didn't hear my kids like screaming in my ear in bed while
God.
I try and stay asleep.
I'm still trying to catch up on all the sleep I missed.
I
from
feel
yesterday.
really bad for you, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're a mess.
I
That's bad news bears, what you went through.
It is,
What happened to you?
Well, just, he had to go to a wedding.
I worked
yeah.
Friday into Saturday, had to pick up my dry cleaning for the wedding after I got done work. And then I had to, I had breakfast with my dad. And so I literally didn't walk in my front door until 9 a.m. And I was up at noon. And then at a wedding from like 3 was the ceremony. And then the reception was at 6.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It was an all day affair.
It was an all-day affair.
Karen is fighting off a very mild case of pneumonia.
Oh.
Which is awesome. Well, she has that walking pneumonia because she's asthmatic. So
Yeah.
they have a higher risk of the pneumonia. So, Brittany, hi.
Hey,
You missed you missed some nice Thanksgiving games with Matt, Heather, and Karen and I.
sorry, my family just kept showing up at weird times, and then we kept rewatching The Mandalorian.
Like what, 8 times on repeat, right?
Yeah, it was kind of whack.
Baby Yoda.
It was still
Baby Yoda. We need to get the clip of Baby Yoda,
Yeah.
and like have everybody listen to it.
I was going to say, episodes 1 through 3, I probably never have to watch again because I've seen them so many times.
How did your family react to the frog eating?
Oh, they all just thought Baby Yoda was like amazing. You should have heard it. It was like we were watching like a sports event in my house. We were just like, oh my God, he's so fucking cute. Like, it was great. Except for when children were around, they were like, he's so cute.
Well, in 4 days, speaking of Baby Yoda, I will be graced with Baby Yoda on my body forever. I'm getting a Baby Yoda tattoo.
Incredible.
I can't wait. Talk
Talk about diehard Star Wars
I know,
fan.
right?
I mean, listen, I got the Rebellion logo on my calf with 3 X-Wings flying. I got the word hope written in Arabish. Like, yeah, I'm in it for the long haul.
At least you hope it's an Arabish. It could just say like loser or something like
Who's
that.
going to walk up and be like, oh, that says soup, honey? Like,
Like
An
a
alien.
really another hardcore Star Wars fan at the opening of Rise of Skywalker because
Yeah.
I'm going to be wearing shorts there on December 19th.
it's going to be like awkward. Actually, it's the conjunction's wrong. That says hopeless.
We have a great show for you today. We are going to be doing a couple of reviews. We'll be reviewing The Mandalorian Chapter 4, and we also will be going over a list of a holiday buying guide for everybody. If you're looking for some things to get for your family or friends for Christmas, Hanukkah, Brittany, Matt, and I have some suggestions for you, so that'll be a lot of fun as well. And then we have our Knives Out review. Now, I'm going to say this now, and I'll say it when we get into the review. We're going to try and keep that as spoiler-free as possible, but there's only so much you could really talk about when it's a whodunit film. So if some spoilers leak in, you may just want to wait to listen to this segment after you've seen the movie. If not, and you're fine with being spoiled and want to go see the movie nonetheless, that's your jam, baby. That's your jam. So go right on ahead. This week, we're not going to have a permitted minute. It was a holiday week. Happy Thanksgiving to all those who celebrate. Those in Canada, I guess, don't. Right?
They have their Thanksgiving.
They have a different
earlier.
Thanksgiving.
It's in October, and it makes more sense.
Yeah, it does. It's true. It's not all about, like slaughter and yeah.
I mean,
this.
they
What?
slaughtered too.
Yeah, I guess the Canadians did
Indigenous
slaughter.
girls still go missing there, so
Yeah, good point.
it's kind of an everywhere problem.
Oh, okay. We're not going to get
Wow, we're
depressing.
This is
Oh,
depressing
this is
start.
going. This is going far. Okay. Yeah. So no permitted minute this week, but we will get into, as always, our rants and raves. Matt, I know that you're raring to go with one. So I'll start with you.
So I know it's kind of touching into Knives Out. However, it doesn't pertain to Knives Out, the movie specifically, but the previews before the movie. Now, I'm very much a lover of trailers before movies. I'm kind of, I like to see what's coming out and everything. And 1917, I think the trailer
Looks so good.
And I really want to see it. The amount of trailers before Knives Out got to the point where I literally was looking at my watch and going, how many more trailers are there? And I didn't keep count, but I'd say there were like close to 10.
I think it was like 6 or 7. But
Yeah,
it was the length of it.
Yeah.
It was 25 minutes.
I think they were banking on everybody seeing like the film during Thanksgiving, so they're like, let's get in as many ads as possible because people are going to see this.
Now, if I was a politician, I would get legislation out there like immediately that movie theaters would be required to post the actual start time of the movie. But that would kill the business because you're not seeing previews for movies, and then the theaters aren't making money and the studios aren't making money. So the billionaires aren't making their billions.
Oh no!
Oh,
Whatever
no.
will they do? Still be billionaires?
The rich will be condemned to a life of semi-luxury.
Wow, we real salty this episode.
We are.
I love it.
This is for those billionaires out there. I have no love for you.
Oh, gee.
I understand that theaters need to make money.
Yes.
And I understand that this is how people, when they go to the movies, say, oh man, I want to see that. I want to see that.
But I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But like in the modern digital era, like do people rely on trailers before movies? Like social media exists, like all these websites. Like I lost count of the number of crap that pops up on my phone when I go click on certain things. When I'm just scrolling through an article and it's just like boom, and like a video starts auto playing that I can't undo. Like, I mean, do trailers before movies, are they really as big a thing for people?
Well, I will say personally, yes. I will get Brittany's take on it. I say yes just because I hate how videos on social media work now because there'll be ads like in the middle of a video sometimes. Yes. And I can't stand that, so I'll just stop watching. So when I go to a movie, I actually do like trailers. Like I appreciate them. I'm like, oh, okay, I want to see this. I want to see that. I see trailers for movies that I may not see online. So I do get something out of them. Do I want 25 minutes worth of them? No, absolutely not. Like 15 minutes, 20 minutes max. Like
No, I agree. I like movie trailers a lot also. I like being in the theater and then seeing those previews of movies that you don't even know are coming out or ones that you do, and then it's like a different version of the trailer. But it was a little too long. Like to the point where my mom literally was like, what are we watching again? And she's the one who wanted to see the movie. And I was like, no, it's Knives Out, Mom. It'll happen soon.
She's so, it's Frozen 2, Ma.
It was just like so much. And
Into the unknown. Like, Brittany, do you actually mind if I go into my rant?
Oh, I know.
Go this
I know
way?
what yours
because
will be, so
it's literally the same experience.
Yeah.
So during our 25 minutes of trailers and then into the movie, there was a guy in the row directly in front of us.
Oh, yes.
And what is the biggest thing that they do right before the movie starts? What do they say and put on the screen?
Turn off your cell phone.
Turn off your cell phone. Silence your phone.
Don't fucking text. Doesn't say don't fucking text,
but
it
implied.
That would be pretty awesome though if it was like don't fucking text.
It might as well say that because this motherfucker, I'm getting real salty about this. I haven't been this salty in a long time. I wanted to have words with this guy. I was.
He was ready to punch him.
So this guy in the front, and his son was getting embarrassed, like I could tell. Not only was texting on his phone and playing on his phone, he full on got his glasses out of his pocket and put them on so he could specifically text and do stuff on his phone during this movie. Now, I get having to maybe take a peek at your phone. Like if Karen and I are going to the movies and we have a sitter, I have to check my phone once. What do? I go down real low and I peek out of my pocket so nobody can really see it. It's an emergency. This dude was full on like checking his email, checking his text.
I've seen people play games in front of me at theaters and it's like, why are you here?
And there's no business for it. And especially during a whodunit film where you're trying to maybe like figure some things out and see if you could figure out like who the person is that did the murder. You get distracted by some dumb fuck playing on his phone.
Yeah.
It completely almost ruins the experience. So I whispered over to him and I think he just ignored me. I was like, please get off your phone. And he didn't the whole movie. And I was furious. Like if you can't like not be on your phone for 2 hours, don't come to a fucking movie theater.
Yeah. Or
like,
go sit outside on the bench.
Yeah.
If your family
or-
made you
or-
come to this.
Or like go into the hallway, going
Yep.
into the theater itself and do your phone
because his
shit.
son said something to him at one point too, and then like every time he would take it out after that, his son would like give him a look. And I felt bad for him because I'm like, I could have said something again. I've every time someone plays on their phone in a movie theater, I don't hesitate to say something, and I've had some experiences where people are like, "Shut the fuck up," and blah, blah, like mind your business. And I've gotten a manager like, I don't. Get off your phone. If you want to play on your phone during previews, like I don't care.
And note that this kid, he was not a kid. He was not a teenager. This was a man that was older than all of us.
Old, like, okay, boomer.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Like literally, I wanted to okay boom his
phone
right
out of his
hand.
fucking hands. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you could tell, I'm real salty about this. I have zero tolerance policy for things. I have zero tolerance for texting during a movie or, man, I've seen people bring like full on tablets into a movie theater.
When Julian establishes his Reich, that's going to be like an offense you go up against the wall for. Like, I just picture like some SS officer walking down the line like, you have texted during the movie. Like, oh no.
Your
Look at the
sentence is
records.
death.
He just makes the signal. His sister fired away. Wow, we are terrible people.
No. No.
No remorse.
The penalty should be.
We're using the Holocaust to talk about people texting in a movie.
I'm a Jew. It's okay. We can get away.
Fair
with it.
enough. All right.
Don't text during movies. Don't play on your phone during movies. If you want to do that, do it at home on your couch.
But
in your underwear.
But how will my doctoral thesis get completed if not during a movie?
Is my booty call going to be on time? Who cares? You're at a movie.
You know what? If I look over your shoulder and I see you're trying to get a booty call, I might be like, all right, dude.
No.
You got a little bit
No.
of leeway, but get out of
No.
here.
During Knives Out.
Not during Knives Out. Dude, if anybody,
Knives
I'm
Out
telling
almost
you
made
right
me
now.
pull my knives out.
Yeah. If anybody gets their phone out during Star Wars, there's going to be.
I'm not gonna do a single thing on my phone.
No, I'm not talking about you
Oh,
guys.
okay.
I'm just saying there's going to be fisticuffs or lightsabers.
He's gonna open up his Jedi robe and be like,
I am. I'm going to have my lightsaber on me. As long as you don't bring the blade.
Your plastic lightsaber.
He'll cut
and
your
like,
phone.
Oh, no.
hand off.
I have a real lightsaber.
He'll make you a Luke
I mean, I don't have a real lightsaber.
or
but yeah.
Anakin, or I guess anybody
I
else
have-
who's had their
Let's
hand
say, where'd you
off.
get the Kyber crystal
A
from?
full on Elam, man. Come on. I do have a full on lightsaber that is probably more dangerous without the blade in it than with. Just saying, I will pistol whip someone with a lightsaber. Anyway, that is my really long rant about texting in movie theaters. Don't do it, Brittany.
I have a little rave. The PlayStation Store has, I guess it's still ongoing, or maybe by the time
Yeah,
they
December
hear this-
2nd, tomorrow.
December 2nd.
Oh, yeah, by the time you hear this, so no, it
this,
is over.
It's not
It's
going
over.
on. But had a really cool Black Friday sale, and I got like God of War for like $9.99 and like a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, oh man. So I got like 4 really awesome games. The total ended up being like $80, and I was like, these are full, if not special editions of the games. This
Yeah.
is pretty sweet.
These are all games that you're never going to be able to play
No,
because
I've
you
started.
have no time.
I've started
Making time
making
for
time
herself.
for me to do fun things.
Good.
So.
Where are you in Fallen Order?
Oh, I haven't touched that. But well, this week since I've had time at home with my brother, I've been playing Borderlands 3. Finally finished that game.
Oh, good.
So
Okay,
we're
well, that's
further in
progress.
that, and then
All right, so she's like, I think she's in August or September right now.
Yeah.
son of a bitch. Not wrong. But then I'm finishing the second Tomb Raider game so I can finally play the third one, which I just got. on
Oh, I
Black
did
Friday
not like
sale.
that game.
I've heard.
Oh, have you heard?
Wait, I think you ran into me one
Oh,
time
yeah,
because I
maybe I did.
mentioned Tomb Raider.
Julian,
I love Tomb Raider.
Julian's a ranting
Oh no,
like,
I love
lunatic
Tomb
on
Raider.
the street.
I absolutely.
I know you said it
I
went in like a different
loved
direction.
the
though.
first game, and then the second and third game, or the second game. I didn't play the third game.
I like all three of them. I like all three.
Yeah.
The third one I'd say was probably the weakest in terms of plot, but
In terms of the plot, anything else, Brittany, on that Black Friday thing?
No,
New?
that's basically it. I mean, Wade's had really cool Black Friday sales also.
He did. I
And I
took
had a
advantage
good
of
time
that.
when people were here. And I was like, that's 50% off. That's whatever percent off. And it was cool.
You like
I'd
slashing
buy-
prices?
I'd buy
Yeah.
that for $1.
We were talking about that
Yeah.
yesterday.
There were Dollar World comics. So people did, in fact, buy things for $1.
Very briefly, I have a very quick rave to the staff at Best Buy. Thank you, because I almost lost. You can't see it, but I have my R2D2 beanie that I've had for years and years and years. And Matt and I went Black Friday shopping the other day, and it fell out of my pocket. And I was like, shit, I lost it. That's it. And Karen's like, you should go just in case. Like, you know where you lost it. Maybe they have it. And I was like, okay, I will. So we go to Joann's to buy the material for my Jedi tunic. And I run into Best Buy. I'm like, do you have Lost and Found? They're like, no, but we have an office where we put things and we could take a look real quick. Not there. But the cashier hears me say the words R2D2. He's like, you mean, he literally went like this, you mean this? And I was like, yes!
Behind the counter.
And I gave him a big high five and I was like, that guy should get a promotion. You should promote him. So Best Buy, thank you for saving my R2D2 beanie.
He was your Obi-Wan. He was your only hope.
He was. I got to play
He's
the
like,
Mandalorian.
all the Death Star plans are in there. I need my hat.
I wish I had R2 sound bites.
R2 whistling.
Who needs sound bites when you have us? All right, guys, it is time to get into our Mandalorian Chapter 4 review. This was quite the episode.
I think it was fitting for Thanksgiving.
It was very fitting for Thanksgiving, wasn't it? We're going to get into it. It was, like I said, the fourth episode of the series. We have 4 more to go, and we are going to get right into it. Matt, I'm going to start with your overall thoughts. I believe the name of this chapter, correct me if I'm wrong, was Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. So basically, like, I like the episode. There were a couple things I could have nitpicked with it in terms of, like, you know, things that they said, like when they're like, oh, it's an ATST, it's armored, and they're like, nothing you have can take it down. I'm like, I've seen 2 logs smashed together.
Ewoks do it.
I have seen a bunch of sentient teddy bears take these
But
things
they
down.
don't know that. They weren't there on Endor, man.
Yeah, I get that, but at some point, you know, like, you think the weaknesses of the ATST would be pretty exposed right about by this point in history. But obviously, like, so far the show has very much a lone wolf and cub vibe to it, and now it went full 7 samurai, obviously without seven warriors, so to speak. But like, the setup was all there. You had the poor village that was being beset by bandits, and you know, let's take everything we have and go buy somebody to help us fight them. And obviously, they bump into him. So
I thought one of the best parts of this episode was Baby Yoda, who keeps stealing all the scenes.
Yes.
Every single scene Baby Yoda's in is just glorious. And to go with what you're saying, you get those heavy samurai vibes. Like, this is a mixture of like a Western and like a classic like samurai film. I mean, they're a lot the same if you think about it.
Well, I noticed.
So,
I noticed
borrow.
that. I noticed at the end of the episode the way he was standing and leaning up against the building with like his legs. That's like a pure like old west like
classic cowboy.
Yeah, classic.
Well,
cowboy.
actually, before I get into my thoughts, since we're very heavily touching on that subject, you know, this show for the first 3 chapters has been very like Western focused, right? But like you said, Matt and Brittany, that does happen, you know, in these Eastern films as well, like, you know, all the classic samurai films.
Any Kurosawa film, right?
Yeah, exactly. Here's the question. Are Easterns and Westerns built in the same vein? I'm
pretty sure cowboys are just samurais of the
Right.
West. So like, it's really more like samurais came first, and
They
then
did,
cowboys
yeah.
are basically the same, but our version of samurai.
with guns instead of swords?
Yeah, they got their own code. They do what they got to do out west. They save the innocent. But I did think this was a really good Thanksgiving episode, because as soon as it opened up and there was like this little indigenous village of people, and they're like happily, you know, scooping up their crops and everything. Well, not their crops, they're like living beings, but you know what I mean. Their harvest.
I
was just
actually,
like,
they're krill farmers. I
Yeah,
think they were.
krill farmers.
which are Star Wars shrimp.
Yeah, no, they're blue shrimp.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
Make that blue
I cut
milk.
you off.
Oh no, you're good. But as soon as like you see that happy opening, like my brother and I immediately were like, oh god, and they're gonna get attacked. We're like, this is literally it. So when that did happen, but then, you know, they go to get more help, I'm just like, oh, this is cute. You're helping indigenous people fight the people that are trying to like conquest them. What a wholesome image.
Speaking of that and this village, something I thought that was really cool is that, you know, like, this is still Star Wars, right? So even though, like, he mentioned when they're landing, oh, this is like a backwater planet, no starport, not a huge population density, yet it's still Star Wars, because while these farmers don't have a lot of technology, they're still like droids and R2
Oh, yeah, I
units
love that.
helping
Like-
them farm, which is keeping it Star Wars, which I thought was really neat. Like, you know, instead of a horse-drawn carriage,
Yeah.
you know, with all the equipment on it, it was a droid-drawn carriage.
It still felt very Star Wars. That's what I like.
Yeah, exactly. And even the cantina, which was, you know, a lot more. It was more different than the other cantina we had. Like big open area, looked like a rainforest cafe.
Exactly. Just like
And the bartender was
Kahunaville in space.
yeah. I don't think the bartender quite like understood what
she was saying.
Well, I don't think that she quite understood what he was trying to do when he was like paying her off.
Yeah.
She was just like a nice lady
like,
at a nice
thank you so much."
establishment, and I don't think that she knew he was trying to get information out of her.
Yeah.
and
He was
like,
just like, wow, this is easy. Here you go.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, thanks.
thanks.
I'll tell you anything you want.
Although she didn't watch the kid. Like
And she
he
did
hated
not watch soup slurping.
To be fair,
baby
she
Yoda.
might have tried to watch him. Just waddled his way out of there.
He's quick. He's quick.
I really like. I mean, listen, there hasn't been a bad episode of this show. I think that this might be the weakest of all of them, and that's not saying a lot because they've all been really good, and this was a good episode. What I really enjoyed was some little things, like there was a loth cat in this episode
Yes,
from
I did
Rebels,
like that.
right? And I was
I
like,
did like
it's
that.
a loth cat, man. I thought that was awesome. There's a little bit of controversy right now, like surrounding, well, they gave the reason why he can't take off his helmet or why he won't take off his helmet.
He just doesn't in front of other people. He can take it off on his own.
And everybody's making a big deal out of that. And I'm like, no,
It's not really a big
it's
deal.
really not a big deal. He has already proven that you don't need to see his face for him to emote and be a good actor. I don't need to see his face.
And it wouldn't make sense if they randomly unmasked him.
No.
It'd be like the Kylo Ren of this show.
I really liked, and I'll get into more of my thoughts because let's talk about Gina Carano's debut as the former Rebellion shock trooper Cara Dune. What did we think of Cara Dune?
I loved her. I want to see more of her, if that makes any sense. I really like their teamwork and their dynamic that happened. And it was also really nice to see a woman with a different body type on a show. Because like right away, as soon as I saw her, I was like, wow, this woman's like either an ex-MMA fighter, which she is an MMA fighter. But like just seeing that body type, because so many people in Hollywood, you'll even look at like leading male or female roles, they're like a certain height and certain weight. Like Tom Cruise is short.
Yeah.
And like weighs a certain amount. And like that's why he always gets leading role stuff. You try to see larger actors, they end up being like voice actors instead or doing other lines of work, or they always get typecast as some big, hulking person. So it's just like nice to see her have like an actual role. Sure, she's like a fighter, but at the same time, she got to do a lot more than has ever been offered to her before with her role.
You posted that article, which I read, which was an absolute great read, how she was pretty much done with Hollywood and she decided to go in for this. And it was like the perfect role
And
for
now
her.
she's excited. She wasn't even that big into Star Wars before, but she's like in it for the long haul now. And the fact that they even gave her a chance and she has a character that's more than just like...
kick the shit out of something,
Yeah.
even though that's what she does, but she's got
does.
lines and, you know,
she works
yeah.
well with him. She like reads people well.
Yep.
So she's like, you don't want to stay here with this nice lady?
Matt, your thoughts on Cara Dune?
No, I liked her, but once again, like her character as being like some kind of like rebel special forces ish fighter, kind of, as I said, that kind of feeds into the whole idea of like, oh, it's an ATST, like we can't take this down. Like you're
really nitpicking that,
Yeah,
aren't
right.
you?
I know, I am. But I did like her character. I thought it was kind of odd how they went right into the fighting, like when they were out in the little alley, if you will, behind the thing, how they just like started throwing down right away with like no explanation as to.
Well, they did explain it. She said that she thought that he had a fob on her,
Yeah.
so she fled.
Because she could tell right away, she's like, oh man, he's a bounty hunter.
He's guild, yeah.
Who knows anymore?
With a baby in tow. So.
I really dug that they talked a little bit, like they're giving little hints about kind of what happened after the fall of Empire and especially the fall of Endor. Because she's like, we went in to mop up Endor, and then that was my role for a long time. We would be mop up for whatever Empire was left. But the minute that the rebellion became the New Republic, there wasn't a job for her. So she said early retirement, meaning your job is done. We can't read.
The shock trooper was dropped for shock value.
But
No, I did love that she was a shock trooper though. I was like, oh.
It was really cool. I really liked her character a lot. Let's go back around. Any other thoughts on this episode? Brittany, we'll start with you first.
I kind of liked how they showed that the ATST, like how it would affect a normal group of people, or like, I guess in this way, ground troops, even though they're not really specifically trained. But it was interesting to see that because in the other movies, they look like so easy to knock over, whether or not the Ewoks or sound traps or whatever. So it kind of added that like fear that like, oh, normal people in this universe would be like, this is a giant like mechanical
Not magic
thing.
space bears.
Yeah.
Magic space bears.
Let's do the dance around the fire.
Yep.
Anyway, so I thought that was cool because the show's grounding a lot of things. Like I said, I like that so much about the first 3 episodes was every time there's like a specific fight, it's more grounded. It's not as like I don't know.
This
over the top.
is where they showed that, even though they have a big budget, that they didn't necessarily need to use all of it. There wasn't anything like huge. It was mostly shot in the dark, so they didn't need to spend a lot.
Yeah. So I liked it. But like you said, it is one of the weaker episodes, but I think it was needed to show people that immediately he couldn't just get rid of Baby Yoda to be like, oh, let's leave him somewhere safe. No. They're always going to come after him. They're coming after you too. Like, this isn't an option.
Yeah, and that's something I actually, I know I talked about it, I think, with the previous episode when all those things go, like, we now show that they're for Baby Yoda. Like, they're his trackers. They're now active. So the only question I have at this point is, do the trackers work, like, across distance, or are they only on the planet? Like, so if somebody lands on the planet and they have the tracker, does it come alive at that point?
That's what I was thinking of too. But once again, is it from his midichlorians? Did they do something when they were testing on him?
I hate you so much for this midichlorian theory of
I'm
yours.
just saying,
I know.
they were testing his blood and doing weird stuff.
Maybe
doing
they're
some Nazi shit.
Maybe they're trying to figure out, like, the Force and how it works. And
I will say that the easy answer here is that he was followed, or
they
it
get
was
the
weeks.
alert.
So they said it was weeks that they were on that planet. So it couldn't have been followed. It is curious. Now you have me on your fucking midichlorian bullshit.
I don't know, man. Why else did they experiment on him?
We all of us sitting here know that the moment somebody says midichlorians, that there's gonna be chairs thrown at TVs. There's gonna be like, it'll be the worst show in history. Like, this show's garbage.
All will be forgiven all of a sudden with Ryan Johnson. They'll forget all about Last Jedi.
Also, I know sidebar, but like at the end it was like Bryce Dallas Howard directed this. I was like, what?
I loved it.
I could tell like a woman directed it, but at the same time when it popped up, I was just like, what? Who's not working on this show? I love her.
I love that the fact that Star Wars is like a family affair for the Howard family because Ron Howard directed Solo.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He ended up being the reason I went to see Solo, because then I was just like, I don't know, Ron Howard's working on it though. I love him.
I do too. I do like him quite a bit. One other thing I want to touch on this episode that I thought was really cool and I was reading about and very much thought of at the same time as it was being written. This episode also showed a little bit more how I was kind of talking about, like, well, they got a little bit into like what happened after the Empire fell. That ATST being on that planet is a great example of what happens when empires, not just the Empire, no pun intended, Brittany, empires fall and they scram basically and just leave all their shit behind.
Leave equipment.
And what happens? Like
Raiders take it.
ISIS,
they start using it.
They start using the equipment. That's why this gang of pretty much just like pesky raiders all of a sudden have a fucking AT-ST at their disposal. One thing that actually bothered me about that was these are like they're raiders. They're not smart, right? Like, they're smart enough to like come and steal all their krill, whatever the shrimp are called.
Whatever.
But like, really, you knew that there was a hole there?
Hold on.
In the dark?
Hear me out though. They're raiders who have one really good piece of equipment. You think they're just gonna walk it into some water? And they know it's not like balanced.
Did they
so
know
just
not
like,
to look? Like, how did they know to look down?
They probably didn't even know that it was like. Well, they've attacked before just as on
That's
foot.
true.
So they already knew there were like krill ponds. So at the same time they're walking, they might not even have known that they're that deep, but they were just like, can this go in water? Like, that was my thought, is that they were just like, they were worried they were going to immediately fall over.
Well, and my other thing too is
or
like,
was there anyone even in there?
Well, there
That's
was.
what my brother
because you hear the guy when he shoots
When he
the
lights it on
window.
fire.
Like, I think you hear a guy scream.
Well, yeah, because
the eyes were glowing
that's
red.
what because
Why have to shoot the fucking windows?
Well,
right?
that's what I was saying, because like you had red eyes, so basically it was almost like a video game boss. Like, oh, where's this crit spot? Oh, it's probably those
Exactly.
two red lights that are right on his face.
But it was spooky.
That's exactly why they did it.
I
because
was
it's
like, why are
spooky.
the lights red? Because they never have been.
I picture the bandits like, all right, let's get the ATST going. Turn on the red light.
Mood lighting. Let's go.
You don't need to turn on the red light. ATST. Okay, that shouldn't have ever happened. I apologize.
And it's so sad it was you. You did it, not me.
Are you?
I let it happen.
Are you having some FOMO for that?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
like, wow. Julian went there.
I did. Sometimes I do, and then it was a mistake.
Ironically, the police were not involved in this at all.
Anything
protection.
else we want to touch on episode 4 and think we're going to episode 5? Go ahead.
I did like how this episode built upon, I can't even talk, the Mandalorian's relationship with Baby Yoda, because we're seeing him become a very reluctant parental figure, kind of in a way, to the point where other people there are calling Yoda his son. They're like, your son. And especially because they can't see what he is underneath. They're like, he might be another Yoda. But I highly doubt that.
I also got one thing to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I actually like the fact, even though they didn't draw a ton of attention to it, but establish the fact that he's not a true Mandalorian. Like, he was adopted by them, it sounds like.
I'm not
because he said, like, his family was killed and they took him in.
But that seems to be the Mandalorian way.
Well, yeah, but as I said, though, is that, like, Mandalorian, they're like, they are a people, but it's a lifestyle. Like, if you're willing to live the lifestyle, you're a Mandalorian.
So he's a true Mandalorian in that sense. But at the same time, there's not a race really anymore. It's a bunch of different groups of people.
Yeah, I did. I noticed that. For sure, but I wonder though if they were Mandalorian civilians and he was then like adopted by the Mandalorian warrior.
And he did. I said this when we were watching it, when she gave him the food and they had the discussion about removing the helmet, and he did take off the helmet. I said I would have laughed so goddamn hard if he just left the helmet on, picked up some bread, and started smashing it against the visor,
or slid it up underneath.
I was gonna say a really nice like comedic relief moment would have just been him like putting a cracker up under the helmet.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you happen to have a straw? Or 3 straws? I can put them all together.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say is that I don't think this is the last we've seen of this village, and I don't think this is the last we've seen of
Cara Dune?
Oh no, definitely not Cara Dune. Like she's going to be
Cara
back.
Dune?
It's Cara Dune, like Cara Thrace, Cara Dune.
Yeah.
Cara
Zor-El.
Thank you.
Yeah. All my favorite Caras.
All my favorite
You actually
cars.
did name all my favorite Caras. I love Cara Thrace.
I said Cara Thrace.
I know.
Oh,
I'm just saying you did.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Starbuck is my spirit animal. I have a
many
lot of
happy
spirit
cars.
animals.
Apparently.
I don't think this is the last we've seen of his not girlfriend, the leader of that village.
who also knew how to shoot a gun.
Yeah,
Classic Western.
that was a
Yeah,
little
there was-
suspect, right?
Yeah, there was, because I thought that he was going to be, when she was like plunking the thing like repeatedly, I thought he was going to be like, where did you learn how to do that?
Yeah.
And she would like kind of let slip like, yeah, I was a soldier and for at some point.
That's why I don't think that's the
Give
end
me
of that.
her
They just
backstory.
threw in subtly that she's an amazing shot. Like, no, like we're going to see her again. She's something or someone.
Plot twist: she's evil, and she wanted Baby Yoda to stay with them.
I would have actually, like, before obviously Baby Yoda blew up like an atom bomb in terms of the pop culture world, I would have said that at the end of the season, when like the bad guys are defeated, he would take Baby Yoda back and leave him. But people would like riot, like, Baby Yoda's not in the show anymore, and like start like destroying stuff.
Baby
some
Yoda's
point-
his baby.
At some point, Baby Yoda needs to not be in this show, though. Like,
Did any of us beat Death Stranding?
no.
I don't know. 'Cause
And
I'm just wondering if
never
it's going to be
Wait,
the same way. What did that guy do with that baby?
That was a
at the end?
segue right there.
No, I'm just wondering.
I was actually convinced for a second, like this was the end of the Baby Yoda arc. He was going to stay on that planet, and they were going to do like the next 4 episodes about him maybe being on the run. But
I was just trying to see if we could confirm with another piece of media that just did the same story.
well, if you have beat Death Stranding, let us know at permittedpod@gmail.com.
What did he do with his baby
What
Yoda?
did he do with the fetus that he walks around
Carries
with?
on.
Norman
his chest.
Reedus and the Fantastic Fetus?
Oh my god!
Oh God.
He doesn't even have a button for that.
No, I do. I just don't know.
He doesn't know what he wants to use. That's the thing there.
There we go.
I get booed so much on this show.
I had to decide between that and No God No. I thought that was more of a.
Anyway, we're enjoying The Mandalorian.
Yes.
and
We are
Baby
enjoying
Yoda.
The Mandalorian, as you should be too. So we will be back. Like I said at the beginning of the show, this is Star Wars month. A lot of our episodes. Go ahead, Brittany. God, keep cutting me off. Jeez.
Sorry. It's just remember how you have one word for episode?
We didn't do that. Go
My
ahead.
word was savior.
Savior.
Because it sounds enough like the yas I was trying to end in Yoda.
My one word is soup.
Yes.
I don't really have a word. I just have the sound of Yoda going
Slurp.
like drinking his soup and just watching the two of them.
Before we get to our next save, can I just say that, like, you know what? Actually, I'm even going to go one step further, and I'm going to do this because people deserve it. Bravo, everyone on the internet. Bravo, internet warriors who like watch the episode of The Mandalorian and 30 seconds later have the meme of him slurping the soup.
Yes.
Like, the Yoda
Memes and
meme
gifs.
game is the best thing on the internet today. Like, keep it coming.
And I don't get sick of it.
No,
I'm just
I don't
like,
either.
This is
No, no.
wholesome content. We need this.
The Yoda memes are like the new,
I'm clicking the switches and
yeah. Oh, the one.
He turns on the music.
It's like, and it's like turned down for what?
Yeah.
And he keeps turning it on and off. That's hilarious. I want it to be Christmas music in one. That would be awesome.
It'll probably be done.
if I ever
Internet,
get
make
video,
it
I can
happen.
do that.
Well, we will be, like I said, this is our Star Wars month. We're going to be doing a lot of Star Wars heavy episodes. Next week, we'll be back with our Chapter 5 review. And that actually kind of gets into a little bit of, going into the holidays. And I have Disney Plus mentioned in this upcoming segment. We have a holiday buying guide for you. And Matt has brought a stack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 things I have purchased.
He has purchased. So
Nice.
he has come ready. But even though he has come ready, I started with you for Mandalorian. So I'm going to start with Brittany for our 2019 holiday buying guide. Christmas, Hanukkah. Hanukkah falls on Christmas this year. There's a night of Hanukkah on Christmas.
I remember whenever I think of Hanukkah, I always think of Lewis Black talking about it, and he said he once used the line, "Or is idiots too numerous to name? Call it Chanukah."
Chanukah or Chanukah. Put on your yarmulke. Thank you, Adam Sandler.
I'm going to start with my overall tip for your gift giving. Find out what people like interest-wise, and then get them something that you know they'd like, but they would never actually buy for themselves.
I like
So,
that.
like, they would look at it and be like, that's really cool, but at the same time, they're like, I would never buy that statue for myself, or I'd never buy that, I don't know, those funky R2-D2 socks for myself, something like that. And then you do that, and you surprise them with it. So that way they're just like, wow, this is really cool. I never would have got this for myself.
I like that. Do you
Yeah.
have something on your list that you would like to...
I didn't like really write down specifics of like things I think people should get, but more so places they could go to look for things.
Okay, that works.
However, there was one thing I wrote down, and is that Hasbro has the awesome Mandalorian 6-inch figures.
The Black Series,
Yes, the
which is
Black
on my
Series.
list. Those are awesome. And if you're nerds, they're a great gift for sure.
The Jawa looks real nice. He's like, "Dee-dee."
And I think that they are releasing a 10-inch, right? They're all 10-inch, right? Or they're 6-inch?
I thought they were 6-inch.
So I think they're releasing a 10-inch of the Super Commando from Chapter 3. So,
Ooh, I didn't even mean to do it.
Wow, you both
Yeah.
are wow.
we're something.
Did you redo? Did you redo this holiday season? Another cool thing you can get for people is gift cards. If they play the PS4 or play the Xbox or whatever, you can get them, like PlayStation gift cards or any restaurant they like, movies, Sometimes people like spending time with others and they don't like gifts per se. So pay attention to people's love languages.
I'm going to skip Matt just because that's a great segue into one of my gifts.
Dude.
And talking about spending time with your family.
Get tickets
No.
to events. and
Get
things.
Disney Plus.
Oh, that's cute.
Give the gift of Disney Plus. If you want to spend time with your family, you have a tradition of watching Disney movies on Christmas or Christmas Eve. Dude, you have the whole vault. You have everything. Like Disney Plus, like we just talked about The Mandalorian. That's on there. They have some great documentaries. They have Matt's favorite show, the Jeff Goldblum Experience.
I was going to mention that. Jesus Christ.
Disney Plus, I think right now would be like the gift to give everyone. It's easy. You get someone like,
I
a
have
month
that
free.
here. Give a gift of streaming.
Yeah,
you
there
could
you
even
go.
buy somebody like a month of a streaming service just to be like, try it out.
Yeah,
And then if they like it, they can keep going.
exactly. They
I
don't
bought
have to.
my mom BritBox.
There you
A
go.
whole year's worth of BritBox.
Law and
I was
Order
like,
UK, baby. Boom. Love that show. Mainly because Jamie Bamber from Battlestar was on there as a cop or a lawyer, I forget, and then he got killed.
not surprised.
Poor Apollo.
Yikes.
Matt, how about you on your holiday gift guide?
So I'm also very much a fan of gift cards, and I know a lot of people hate that when somebody says like, just give me gift cards, because they feel like they want to make this really personal gift. But honestly, like, I'm one of those people where I legitimately hate saying to most people, buy me this game or this movie or this, and like, I feel bad because I feel like I don't like people spending a lot of money on me. Like,
That's how I feel too.
yeah, I don't like doing that. So to me, it's like, just give me a gift card, whatever dollar amount you want to put on it, just for like, and I'll say like either Best Buy or Xbox or something like that, so I can go out and buy what I want or put money towards what I want. As for specific things, like, I mean, I'm not going to tell people to like buy some of the stuff that I brought, but it's just like, examples of some stuff that I
It's
bought.
cool
because
stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Good
I know
deals.
Julian was with me when I bought. I mean, I don't know if some of the stuff is still on sale for it, but I bought the last copy that my Best Buy had of the Assassin's Creed 3 remaster. I'm a huge lover of the Assassin's Creed series, and it also comes with Assassin's Creed Liberation, which was a PS Vita.
I had that on the
Exclusive.
Vita. Yep. Yeah, Matt, obviously this show is a huge fan of Assassin's Creed since our show name, emanates from one of the best lines of the game.
Yeah.
Nothing is true, everything is permitted.
permitted.
Yeah.
Fun fact, fans.
Fun fact, fans.
Keep
we love
spreading that.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, I do
also
love
By the
Assassin's
way, I have to say this, copyright pending.
We gonna make it happen.
It is not owned by Ubisoft. It is not owned by anybody.
Wow, how about that?
We're taking the tagline.
Well, my sidebar real quick. I have this whole master plan that like we copyright it, right? And then one day Ubisoft is like, "Can we buy it from you?" And we get
And that's how he makes it big.
millions of dollars.
Millions of
I have a whole master like 10-year plan.
You got the 10-year plan in
Like
place.
if someday for whatever reason like Ubisoft wants to like make a huge collection of the games and call it like the Everything is Permitted collection, gotta give us the millions, baby. Dollar bills, y'all.
Oh God, Jesus.
Copyright pending.
Yeah.
Just saying. Go
Another-
ahead.
Yeah, another video game I picked up for like I think it was like $20 is Metro Exodus. I've always enjoyed the Metro series. Takes place in a post-apocalyptic world in Russia where people live literally in the metro tunnels, and they're like the only survivors essentially of this nuclear war that happened. This game, I know it didn't get it like you go into more of an open world survivalist type thing. I haven't played it yet because as I've been busy the last couple days, but I'm looking forward to actually trying it. So even though I got them around, not as Best Buy deal or not as Black Friday deals, but I did get the Reanimator Steelbook, and I'm from a British site, The Bride of the Reanimator, which is a sequel. So I've
These
never
are some deep cuts, my friend.
I know. I've never seen. Funny thing is, I've never seen either of these movies, but I know of the Reanimator. It's considered like a classic, like comedy horror movie, and I figured why not get the sequel. And speaking of, I'd buy that for $1.
Bum, bum, bum,
RoboCop.
bum, bum, bum,
Beautiful.
The first RoboCop Steelbook. I bought this for $20. Normally, most of the stuff is like 35 or something like that. So I'm really excited. Also, from the same British site, I got the Steelbook of Ninja Scroll, which is one of my favorite anime movies ever. It's one of the things that kind of got me. That and Ghost in the Shell I watched when I was like a kid in the 90s, and that's what kind of got me into anime.
I also watched it as a kid in the 90s.
I know, and it's
What do you say? It's like the two, like I haven't seen Ninja Scroll, but like Ghost in the Shell was like my 90s jam.
yeah. Like Ghost in the Shell and Ninja Scroll were like the movies that you'd get on VHS back in the day because like anime wasn't prevalent. It wasn't sold heavily in stores. And it was like, oh, I got this VHS.
Yeah, I got 3 episodes on this VHS. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
something like
7
that. Yeah.
episodes.
And also just
Blockbuster.
because I'm a total downer, and it was for sale for less than $20, I got Schindler's List, the release of a 4K steelbook of it.
Oh wait, there's the guy that was in front of Julian in the theater. I was kidding, man.
Jesus.
Oh, I see where you're going with that. All right.
I really
And-
sold it though. You actually looked at it.
You
You're
did.
like, how? He was an actor?
And last but not least, I bought. It's only the second season, and I'm gonna get the first season. Is the second season steelbook of Yu Yu Hakusho,
Love that show.
which is like I think that and Dragon Ball Z like were around the same time on like Toonami back in the day, and like it was a really big freaking deal. And I'm kind of dreading it because it seems like they're starting to release certain anime on steelbooks, and because Grave of the Fireflies comes out next year, and if they start doing the Studio Ghibli movies, I'm in deep trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up doing the same thing.
I feel like this holiday buying guide is going to be like useful to like only people,
Only specific people.
who like listen to our show who are uber nerds like us.
That's why I kept it vague with just like, here's some sites to go on.
Yeah.
People like Legos do Lego.com.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, is that just like know the person you're buying for is what it boils down to. Just if they like a certain thing, then get them something within that certain thing.
They can always message me on Facebook because I'm really good at figuring out gift ideas. So send me a message.
I'm a big fan. What we've started doing with our family is instead of like buying gifts for everyone, we do Secret Santa now. So you have a spending limit and it has to be a surprise, and you kind of find out through other people what they like. And like, it's awesome because it is like very much a surprise. You're not asking anybody what they want. So I dig that. Sometimes I've gotten shit and sometimes I've gotten something really awesome. My brother got me like this really badass Doctor Who shirt one year, and I was like, all right. Like,
Nice. Yeah, I like that. It's more financially feasible sometimes because like
it is.
I get that I'm an adult now, but I'm also only 25 and I only make so much an hour.
You're
So,
you're a
it's
quarter
like-
of a century old.
I'm paying like car payments and stuff, so it's like as much as I'd love to, as much like buy as much as last year. It's like, oh man.
Being an adult
Rough.
sucks.
As far as some more like actual items, I'm going to give a big endorsement for Apple AirPods. I got them on a pre-Black Friday sale at Walmart. I ranted about it on the show last week, but it was worth it. I've already started using them. Now listen, like I don't have a lot of opportunities to really use them. Like I don't go on long walks on the beach, like or anything like that, or go for runs. But what I do is I like tidy up our house a lot, and I'm constantly in our kitchen, either cleaning it or cooking in the kitchen. And what I used to do is I used to have either podcasts or music playing through our Echo Show. And that's fine, but like if the dogs are barking and the kids are being loud, like it could get drowned out, especially if I have like water running and things like that. Well, I got the AirPods and I started using them instead, and it's great because I'm not wired to anything. If I take them out, everything just stops immediately, and I put them right back in, and it plays like right where you left off. The audio quality is really nice. So if you're looking for someone who wants a pair of headphones, is active or on the move and wants something wireless, Apple AirPods. Boom. Get them. They're a little pricey, but if the Black Friday's still alive, you can get them for like $129.
I was going to say, fun fact, if they are too pricey for you, you can buy Bolt Tune, same thing, like their AirPods. I did that, and they were like $35, and they're really good quality, and they get me through my workday.
There you go.
So I just pop them in at work.
That's how Brittany listens to Everything is Permitted every week.
That actually is legit. Shameless plug, but it's true.
Yes, exactly. Matt, back to you. Anything else on the holiday buying guide?
I mean, honestly, I always tell people like don't overspend on somebody. Like if you know they're getting you something like insane, like don't feel the need to match them. Don't feel that obligation because like people can spend what they spend. And I mean, if somebody gets me something that's $5, I'm always like, I appreciate it. I like, you don't have to, like if I buy somebody a video game or something like that, you don't have to buy me a video game to reciprocate. So, I mean, that's kind of like my advice to people, for gift giving and stuff like that. Like, don't break your bank.
Yeah. Don't kill yourself to make others happy.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes how they react doesn't match the level of expectation you have anyway. Yeah. So like that can mess people up.
Yep.
I have a list of just random sites that people could look for stuff.
Oh boy,
for.
do it. Hit
okay,
it up.
So speed round. Aside from Wade's, which I'm going to shamelessly plug forever because we have amazing deals, and you can show up here and find really weird random stuff for people. Obviously, any PlayStation store or Xbox store, they're probably going to have sales all throughout the holidays and Black Friday, depending on how long it extends to. Definitely do that. I'm not sure if Nintendo does that too, but they'll probably have something for Switch stuff. Aside from your normal stores like Walmart, Target, whatever, obviously Amazon is really accessible, but you can also use Etsy for homemade and unique gifts, and it's really good for like the search option. You can look up Star Wars in there, and then you'll find a bunch of different Star Wars things that people hand make. So if you are interested in doing that, but maybe you yourself aren't very crafty, I'd highly suggest Etsy, and they're able to deliver and ship to you. For things like Funko Pops or nerdy games and things like that, at GameStop, Hot Topic, FYE, like Retro Festive.
Use your Funko app, Julian.
FYE and GameStop. Sorry, I'm not going to give GameStop any love on this show.
Oh, I'm not either.
FYE and Hot Topic both always have really good deals on Funkos. And if by chance, just piggybacking off of you here real quick, if someone asks for something specific and it's rare, go on eBay because you can find them. And sometimes, like if you get out at the right time, you could find a really good deal. Sometimes a Funko at like close to normal price that might be like a rare find that's maybe trending for like $30, $40 that you can maybe get for like $15, $20. So eBay is also your friend.
And they have exclusives all the time with Funkos. So if it's like a Walgreens exclusive or whatever, you can always stop by Wade's anyway because we have weird stuff.
Yep.
But definitely look around, like FYI, I know is a big one. So look towards their interests. If they really like just Marvel stuff, Marvel.com. Just DC stuff, DC.com.
Or Wade's.
HBO stuff, yeah. No matter what, I'm going to say Wade's. But if somebody really likes T-shirts and would like a T-shirt and you can look up any type, Redbubble, Once Upon a Tea, all those weird Facebook ads you see,
T-Fury.
Her Universe for nerdy women's clothing. It's like fashion clothing they made just because they realized, oh man, there's like no Star Wars shirts for women. Plot twist, now there are because of this newest trilogy. So yeah, that's just a bunch of
that's a good list.
Things.
And
I used to use ThinkGeek, but then GameStop bought them out, which is a shame because I used to buy everybody give something ThinkGeek.
I'll never be able to replace my Rogue One carpet.
All right.
Sad days. We're going to head into our next segment here in just a minute. The one thing I want to close with for our holiday buying guide is one thing that we all didn't mention here. I think it's very important. If you can, I know it's very easy to go to your Amazons and your Best Buys and your Walmarts and all, the big billion-dollar companies. If you can, please, please, please support and shop at small businesses
Like Wade's.
like Wade's.
Preferably in cash. I'm sorry, I just wanted to see how Julian's face would be. No, we love you though. Support your local business.
Support your local businesses, and I'm going to give a shout out to a close friend of Matt and I's, our friend Harmony Todd, who owns a really awesome candle company called Old Soul Artisan. All of her candles are based off of like cool like folklore like and fantasy books. She comes out with some really new cool scents like all the time, and sometimes like some holiday scents. Like she's got one called Krampus right now. So check her out. I got her candles as a gift for my stepsister last year. She loved them. We use them in our house. So shout out to Old Soul Artisan and any small business that you support. Please try and shop small. Yes. That's it. Let's get into our Knives Out review. And like I said at the beginning of the show, we are going to try being the key word, to stay as spoiler free as possible, but we may run into some spoilers. So if you have not seen Knives Out yet, but would like to hear a review, maybe save this segment for later. So let's do it. Knives Out, the whodunit from Rian Johnson, the director behind the very controversial Last Jedi. As always, we will go with our Rotten Tomato score first. The critic score being at 96% and the audience at 94%. Very even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could have predicted they would be this high because it's literally announced itself as like the film you want to see with your family on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like...
It's what I wish Dr. Sleep would have gotten.
Yeah.
And It Chapter 2.
Yep. I kind of switched things around because of something last segment. So, Brittany, we won't start with you, and that's what I have listed. We'll start with Matt here first. Your initial thoughts on Knives Out.
So I really enjoyed the movie, and I know I put it in my quote, is this is basically like a modern Clue, but however, while Clue was very obviously comedy, almost slapstick at certain points, like this movie is a little more serious. And also the actors in this movie are you got some pretty grade A talent in here. You got Jamie Lee Curtis, Daniel Craig, obviously. I mean,
Michael Shannon,
Anna de Armas.
Chris Plummer. I mean, you got some
General Chang. Tak ba, tak lech.
Jesus.
To be or not to be.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
That was a reference right
In case
there.
you didn't know we were nerds.
Star Trek
no.
6: The Undiscovered Country. if you
Yes,
didn't
I know.
Sorry.
Thank you. But yeah, it was definitely an enjoyable movie. Yeah, I had some minor issues with it, but nothing that really overall tempered my enjoyment of the movie. And obviously, Daniel Craig pretty much stole every single scene he was in. I don't know what it is about the man and doing Southern accents, but he crushes it. Like in the movie Logan Lucky, which I think I'm the only one of the three of us that has seen it. He does a hick West Virginian accent. It's amazing.
It's because he's British.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
British
what I was
actors
telling
can do
Matt in the
really
car
well.
on the way home. Yep, the British, because it's like close enough in the dialect that they could change their voice a certain way to do it
I think
perfectly.
it's the R's.
Yeah, I think it is the R's. Yep.
It's really easy. They just basically talk really lazy, and they're like, "Oh, here you go."
Brittany, your initial thoughts, overall thoughts on Knives Out.
I also really enjoyed this film, especially because my mom likes murder mysteries and all those murder.
Does she
weird
watch
shows.
Murder, She Wrote?
I think she's seen all that show already, but she watches all the British
Which
ones
was in the
specifically.
movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love that. Except it was in Spanish.
It was in
I
Spanish.
loved
yeah.
it. But yeah, she really enjoys that, so I liked going to see it as a family, and you guys were there too.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, well, I wanted to invite you.
I gave you a little shit last time for going to a movie without me.
It's so hard.
It was fake shit. I wasn't really offended,
know.
but I wanted
then
to
feel
get a
bad
reaction from
because
Brittany.
I know it's hard. I don't have a lot of free time, and I try to divide it evenly.
That's fair.
How dare you
So
spend
yeah,
more
and
time
my
with your
brother's
family.
favorite. I was gonna say my brother's favorite movie growing up was Clue, so we watched that all the time.
Yep.
So I will say that as much as it is in the same vein as Clue, I wouldn't say it's necessarily better or funnier.
Yeah.
Once again, Clue is
A
I don't think
classic.
you could ever even remake it
Yeah.
to be as funny. But I mean, it does have its aspects where it feels like it's the modern day Clue,
Yeah.
what you would get.
And they did kind of do that little throwback line though at the one point when he's when the cops are discussing, the guy
Yeah.
one cop's he lives in the
The
Clue house.
Yeah.
You might
the land of the house.
Just lose the fucking Clue House. I think he says fucking Clue House. I think. I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
I just like throwing the F-bomb in wherever possible.
Yeah, I know.
Personally.
I want to say that the good part for me, that sounds really stupid. Hold on.
It's okay. Switch it up.
One of the big things for me was the performances in the movie from Daniel Craig and Ana de Armas. Like, they both did really well, and their chemistry is really, like, awesome. And it makes me excited for the next James Bond film because they're going to be together in that movie as well. So I put down the bottom here.
No
Ana
Time
de
to Die,
Armas.
by the way.
Did you draw a
Hard
little
eyes.
face on
I
there?
drew a hard eyes emoji because I love her. She played Joy in Blade Runner 2049.
She did.
And if you guys know, Blade Runner makes me very emotional, and I love that sequel, and I love her.
What doesn't make you emotional, though?
So I will say the only downside to this movie, I'm not giving any spoilers or anything, is just that I didn't have that like gotcha moment, or it didn't get me. It was predictable for me, and it almost to the point where it's like I knew. Like, I was not surprised by anything. There wasn't a twist. I was just like, this is obviously what's going on. And it kind of annoyed me that the detective didn't pick up on it as fast.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I love Daniel Craig, but at the same time, I was like, you're supposed to be this amazing detective, but I feel like I'm doing all the thinking over here. Anyway, see it for Ana de Armas.
That's the thing, Brittany. You bring up a good point. Like, I shouldn't be doing the thinking for you. Like, I thought by the time I had been done watching the movie that I did all of this thinking and all of this, like, well, maybe it was this person, maybe it was this person, maybe it was this person, for absolutely nothing, because I knew who it was the whole entire time.
Oh, I didn't even think of anybody else, but the literally the three people technically that could have even been remotely involved.
The thing is that everybody was so, like, had their own, like, bullshit. Like, it could have been any one of them, which is, like, what makes it predictable in a way.
And it's funny that way.
And I will say, I don't think I enjoyed the film as much as you guys. I liked it. It was good. And Daniel Craig, like you guys both have said, absolutely steals the show. Like, he's amazing in this. Is he maybe a little stupid, and maybe they did that intentionally?
Yeah, or maybe that's his thing.
Maybe that is his thing. He was playing stupid. Like, maybe. It doesn't matter because he was awesome. I actually really, it was refreshing to see Chris Evans not as Captain America after, 10 years of, and listen, I love the MCU. It's my jam, but it's nice to see some of these actors move on and do.
Because you're like, oh yeah, they are actors.
They are actors, yeah. It's like watching a long-standing TV series, and then like some of these actors never do anything ever again.
Like David Duchovny. And you're like, Mulder.
No,
I'm just kidding. I know he did Californication.
Californication,
yeah.
And then ended up
But I
becoming a
just meant,
sex
like,
addict.
You still see him, and you're like, Mulder.
Well, yeah, that's true. And I thought that Chris Evans was very good in this. I had one scene. He's in a. This isn't a spoiler. He's in a cafe or bar, whatever restaurant. Yeah. And he's talking, and that's like the one scene
that white
where,
knit sweater.
Yeah, it was the white knit sweater. For whatever reason, I couldn't get like good boy Captain America Chris Evans out of my head.
To
it's
be
like,
fair, he was being good boy.
Well, he was, but the rest of the movie, it was easy to disassociate Captain America with him.
Billionaire, playboy,
Yeah.
not philanthropist.
Not philanthropist.
I did like their perspectives, though. I like how the movie did perspectives of like everybody
Yes.
telling their own sides of the stories and whether they were lying or not. I was like, this is goofy and a little different than what we saw with Clue, than the endings.
I do think that they could have done a little bit more with that whole aspect of them telling their stories and all that, because I actually really loved the scene when she's doing the whole thing and she basically is recalling a conversation she had with Chris Plummer, and he's like telling her to do this and like turn before the statue, and then she's like, did he say before or after? Then he goes, turn after the statue, and then he's like, turn before after the statue.
After. Because that's exactly how your mind works.
Yeah, exactly. Like I felt the movie could have done more of that.
Yeah.
Like of people like trying to go like, oh my God, what
Those
what
parts made me laugh the most, and that's
Yeah.
what I enjoyed
Yeah.
the most.
Well, they had great on-screen chemistry, and it was actually nice to see like Chris Plummer in something again.
Yeah.
I thought they played very well off of each other. I liked that they had they established very much that they were like friends. She just wasn't his nurse.
Yeah, it was very believable too.
It was.
Like I was just like the acting here.
and it's obviously it's not a spoiler, but I like the whole thing with her like throwing up if she ever lies.
Lies. It was great.
Yeah, and then like them trying and like everybody trying to ask her questions
And
about
she'll
that.
throw up.
Well, at one point, like she lies about something and throws up, right? And they're like, "Oh man, I didn't know it was actually true." I really liked the fanboy detective.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's like,
That-
like naming the books.
Yep.
That was in this.
Yeah, I like his my favorite scene with the I think he was like a trooper, a state
Yeah.
trooper or something like that. And without spoiling the scene, is when Daniel Craig is doing his whole elaborate like explanation of this is what happened here.
Oh, good
And
job.
then, and then when
Well
somebody
done.
when somebody tries to interrupt him, they're like he's like no wait a minute,
Yeah, he's like, "Shh,
Let him
wait."
finish.
let him finish.
Matt, that was very
What we
good.
have
like
here
that, yeah.
is a
You
donut
were very
inside a
good.
donut.
I know, right?
I'm like, I got a little.
The movie
tingly
made me
there.
want to eat donuts, though. That's the only problem. What do we have here is a donut hole inside a donut.
Donut hole.
And a hole inside a hole of a donut.
We think it's a hole, but it's really a smaller
Did you
donut
see-
inside that hole.
I might have not sent it to you guys, but there's a meme someone created, which is a bunch of different pictures. That's like the spoiler-free version of that movie. I need to send it to you guys if I didn't already post it.
Oh, yeah, I'll see it.
I also I loved like the running. One thing I really loved was the running joke that like one of their kids was like, well, one of the kids of Chris Plummer's kids was a total like alt-right Nazi little boarding school shit.
And and they pointed out.
Yeah, and I wish they had actually done more with him, but I guess I don't know. They had.
I mean, you're not going to take away from scenes of like Michael Shannon, Jamie
No,
Lee Curtis
exactly.
for some.
He was also one of the kids from It, who played Bill Denbrough.
Is he?
Yeah, the main
He is,
character
yep.
his little brother Georgie
Yeah.
went missing.
Oh.
I only know because we just watched It Part 2 last night with my mom, and she was like, ah.
Oh, did she like it?
Yeah, my whole family really liked both parts.
I got to get that on the steel.
That comes out on the 10th, I believe, next week.
I want to make a list of the top films I've seen this year because I feel like Dr. Sleep and It Chapter 2 are like at the top. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I forgot how good It Part 2 was.
Well,
Where's Midway though?
Not even midway.
And you guys missed out on. It's still in theaters. You can go see it as Ford vs Ferrari as well. It was
Yeah, I do.
super-
I, do
Oh, I
wanna
thought you were
see it.
gonna
I would have
pitch
seen.
Midway.
I would have
I was gonna
seen it with
slap
you,
you.
Julian. I would have seen it.
Wait, you don't want to see an awesomely bad.
Dick Best.
You don't want to see Dick Best get bested by bad oxygen in his oxygen container. I like it.
I'll post it on Facebook for the
Yeah,
people to see.
I like it.
But it's
I
the
like
no
that.
spoiler version of the movie.
I think the biggest thing, my biggest complaint, my biggest gripe, which really took away from me like fully enjoying this movie, is what we've already mentioned, is that like it was highly predictable. I felt like I did all this thinking about who done it, which is what you're supposed to do, and who done it for no reason because of. I'm trying to say this in a way that won't spoil anything. It has a lot to do with screen time, if we're being honest. Like, if you talk about the runtime of the movie, which is a 2 hour and 10-minute movie, and you see everybody who's on screen, and you start thinking about like who's not on screen and who is on screen, it becomes very obvious very quickly. So that is my
And it becomes obvious what character you want it to be or not. Like, as a person who's watching it, you're just like, well, I don't want it to be this person.
Yes.
Because that would be horrible, you know? So, keeping it vague.
keeping it vague. Yeah, no. Hey, listen. So many of our reviews on the show have always been very like spoiler heavy, and it's hard not to do. So because of that, we don't want to spoil the movie too much for you. So before we give any more of our thoughts and opinions, I think we're just gonna go right into our film reel scores. Keep this nice and short this time around. We'll start with Brittany. Your film reel score out of 5.
I give it a 4 out of 5. So 4 film reels because it was just a fun movie to see on Thanksgiving with family.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go 4. It was a fun movie. It was an enjoyable movie. I mean, pretty much everybody does very good in their roles. You know, like what they're asked to do. And obviously Daniel Craig. It's worth seeing for Daniel Craig, just for him, like acting as the Kentucky.
He was so awesome.
Yeah, as they said, like the last of the gentlemen, like investigators.
I want you to
He
be
almost
by my
sounded like
side.
Cajun.
I want you to be
Like, he
by
sounded like he was
my
from
eyes and
Louisiana.
ears.
Yeah, like it could have been.
He could have played Gambit.
Yeah, and let's
Mon
be, and
cher.
also like probably one of my favorite lines from the movie is when Chris Evans first sees him and he goes, "What are you, like KFC, NCIS?"
CSI, KFC.
Yeah.
I think that's what he says.
I real quick, I really love that scene, even though it's in all the trailers. It's still great in the movie when like they're all arguing about the will, and he's just like, "Eat shit, eat shit, eat shit, eat shit, eat shit, just eat
Yeah.
shit."
It's so good.
I loved it, just because like the
Did
whole.
you see that? Oh, they made him a sweater, like from the movie, but it says "eat shit" on it, and he said he's gonna wear it for Christmas.
Love it.
Yeah, there was like an interview
it.
with him, and he was like, "This is amazing."
For me, just the predictability of it really didn't live up to the movie that I was really wanting to see. I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 film reels.
It's no clue, but it's as close as you can get.
It's good. Go
Really?
see it with your family. Like, if it's going to be out during Christmas again, like there's going to be some other big movies out as well. But like, if you want something fun that everybody's going to enjoy, go see Knives Out. Totally worth it. So that's going to do it for episode 41. Like I mentioned, this is going to be a big Star Wars month. We have, I believe next week we are doing kind of a throwback look at some of our favorite Star Wars video games. We are going to be,
I know.
I'm really excited.
I know.
Brittany and
I think I offhandedly mentioned that topic, and Brittany was like, "Yes."
Brittany and I are going to rave about the same game too, which is
I can go home and
awesome.
count how many I have.
Yeah. I actually might, if I have time during this week, I might actually download, because they have it on PS Now, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and play it again. Yeah. We are also going to be doing, like I mentioned, our Mandalorian Chapter 5 review. Looking forward into later in the month, we will have our we're hoping to get an audience here, so if you want to come out, our big Star Wars Rise of Skywalker review special here at Wade's. It'll be live on Podbean Live, and we hope to have an audience and take questions and have some guests on for that as well. The Golden Gauntlets are coming up. Our Permitted Mystery Box pre-orders are up for another few days. Get those in. We're going to start buying those stuff and shipping those out in time for the holidays. This has been episode 41. We'll be back with episode 42 next week. Have a good night.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Migliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.